It is time for our second game of the day, Heroic versus Wolves. Heroic can't make it into top 3 anymore, but they can play gatekeepers for Wolves, who only need 1 point to put themselves into that top 3. But for Heroic, I mean, they can't make it into the top 3 anymore, but the changes they made recently have been affecting them as well.
They have been affecting them, and you've got to say it how it is. These changes are probably the most criticised changes I've seen in a long time. For Heroic to take out their IGL after two play days against M&M, who were, what, top 8 at the major, maybe even should have been top 4, having beaten Wu7M, or should have, and the current world champions. They took leader out, put an R-kick in, up against BDS, and I feel like that was always destined to fail. And Heroic have paid the price. They're not going to be in the deciders. They're going to be going through the open qualifier playoffs, and they've got to play what is effectively to them now a dead rubber game.
You know, Fresh, I disagree. I think this all of it makes a lot of logical sense. It all is logical and very senseful, and all makes sense.
Why?
They're so much better, and they're playing great Siege. Their attacks on Ninth Haven were basically flawless. However, they did get played against the best team in the world, and they just got shut down. So it's basically none of it is their fault. They prepared for this stage magnificently, and I think that I've never seen Heroic play better. We remember that when they were winning this one stage, I can't remember, is it a year ago, a little bit more, and they looked really strong, and now they look even stronger. I'm so excited to watch them play today, and there are a few things in my life that I'm happier about than watching Heroic play Rainbow Six Siege.
Can't see it, but the hand behind the PC has had his fingers crossed.
I was going to say, my brain's not computing this. I mean, the thing is, sometimes when people like get a new player on their team, they say like, oh, you know, they just need a little bit of time. That's not an excuse we can make for Heroic, and they also don't have any time.
They don't need the time. It wouldn't have mattered because the decisions making that they have in the group is just awful. I don't know. It's no sense at all. I pretended there was, but I have no answer for these guys either. It's just like with Koi. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What's your thought process? Because the plan isn't that, oh yeah, our in-game leader needs to step up, because that's not how you play Siege these days. You need to have your frontline being able to call and make decisions on their own. But that seems completely impossible with Heroic. And instead of blaming themselves and taking the absolute responsibility that the frontline is responsible for, they push it on the other guy, get rid of him, and then blame it on him. That's bullshit.
I think we should get on to positives now, for Wolves at least. They are looking way better than they did last stage. They finally found the working recipe, maybe?
Yeah, now you make me actually happy, because Wolves are actually such a fun team to watch. They are so strong. I mean, they're pushing through and going against both BDS and they're going up against G2, and they put them on their best maps, and then they beat them on it. I don't know. To me, that just screams that they have confidence. So it's just kind of crazy to me how they've gone in. Sorry, it wasn't BDS, it was M&M. They've just completely pushed them over. They bullied teams. They just play however they want to. They have aggression, they have coordination, they time things correctly. Everything is just perfect for them, and they're playing it really good as a team. We expected them to maybe be a bit top heavy, but we haven't actually seen that.
If you take it back kind of 6 months ago as well, you will see us saying on this desk when they kicked Rise, we don't necessarily like them having kicked Rise, but we did speculate that it might have been 1 step backwards for 2 step forwards. And I think we've finally seen those 2 step forwards coming out of Wolves.
But you said not playing top heavy. That's kind of showing in the player sets as well,
yeah, so we've got a player highlight of Shinka to come up as well. And the one thing that we've always known about Shinka is he's been excellent at getting those plants down. However, where he has excelled at this stage particularly has been in the KD department and the clutching department. So he's going positive on his KD. He's attempted 4 clutches. He's attempted 4 1vx clutches and won 3 of them. And he's still getting the plants down. Like, he's having, and by his standards and by Wolves standards, one of the best stages that, you know, a sport player on that team has ever seen. And personally for him, one of the best stages he's ever had. And I think that just encapsulates how well Wolves are doing, is when the players that don't necessarily statistically always stand out are standing out, you know that the collective is good.
Yeah, it's just a whole package. It's so nice to see. And it feels like it's finally clicking for them, as you said. It's like they've taken those steps forward. And I think that we're looking at Wolves now as a major contender for actually winning a major. And maybe they haven't been seen as that from EU for a long time, but they've been creeping closer and closer, right? That they did really good at SI. And now I think that they might be in a spot where they probably have a chance of it. At least they're going to end up top 4. If they keep playing like they are now, they will.
All right, promising words though indeed from you. But then for Wolves, this is a really important game, right? They need that 1 point.
Yep.
I'm very curious what kind of map they'll take it to, because that probably matters a lot in that regard as well.
Yeah, I think the map, of course, matters every single time that you play a best of one. As we see the map bans coming in, we're going to see that it will be bank. Now, for me, I think I've seen teams take calculated gambles with map bans time and time again. We saw it didn't work out for Wild when they did it against Into the Breach. Now, Wolves used to be one of the best teams in Europe on bank. This was when they had Rise. They tried playing it a couple of times post-Rise era, lost it both times they tried it. So I think Wolves trying to get to this map know that they're against weaker opposition in Heroic that, you know, are struggling with their own issues at the moment and are feeling good. So are trying to, you know, reinstate their confidence in their own map pool.
Yeah, I actually don't know if I agree on it, because I think that even if they have tried to avoid bank a little bit, it's just Wolves. They always liked it. And it's even just because you're changing a player, yeah, sure, you might lose 2 games because there are a few things different. But I always think that Wolves have had such a same map pool for such a long time that they just want to play whatever map they can. And I don't think it really matters what they're going up against Heroic on. Honestly, I don't think it matters. I think they're going to completely crush them today, because just the confidence that they have running into this, they're just going to tack och godnatt.
All right, that's a bit of Swedish there for us there. But I think indeed the confidence for Wolves must be at an all-time high. All they need is 1 point. Will they be able to get that from this matchup? We will see on bank with Fluke and Hab.
Thank you very much. And yes, all they need is 1 point. But in EUL, in the history of these two teams as well, we've had strange things happen when teams have nothing else to play for.
Yes, we've seen teams that have basically been knocked out be gatekeepers so many times. Suddenly there's no more pressure. Everything and everyone is just unlocked to their fullest potential, and the team on the opposite side of it is going to be suffering as a result. So let's see how that will be playing out today, if we're going to see something similar to that extent, or if we will see Wolves just play like they have in the previous 2 games and just continue their streak.
I mean, I think even if they lose this game, 3 points, the Sprabuni graphics, they were still pretty much confirmed for top 3. They're the only team that's been able to take 2 clean wins out of both groups from their, 2 games that they've played so far. They might extend that here to 3. Time will tell, and Heroic, I guess, will be the tell as well.
Now they're starting off on the defense, so I'm hoping to see some good plays coming out from Heroic. Of course, the change hasn't helped, at least not immediately, as 7-4 loss against M&M, 8-7 loss against G2, and a 2-7 loss against BDS. It's their last game. Then they get to take their extended break.
Sorry, I just out loud.
Yeah, I was wondering, what happens? It's just a normal ban.
Medics has just put a message in our group pointing out that I just fact-checked there on Liquipedia, because sometimes Medics lies. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It's an Arkic's birthday today. It was also apparently Hoxtie's birthday as well, but Medics only told us that after that game had happened. So
congratulate
happy birthday to both of you. I guess let's see if we can get a birthday result here. Now we start underneath. There's a skull. We know where the skull is. The skull's in gold.
Yes,
go to gold.
I saw that.
Go to gold. Go to gold.
But I believe it's in a money stack, so you might not actually be able to see it until someone shoots the money stack.
Right. Okay.
It's in the money stack on this little. This one. Yeah.
So
right
there's
here.
A
Maybe
skull
zoom through
inside the lower money stack. Yeah. Go through them. Yeah. Not there.
No. Okay. They need to shoot it.
Okay. They need to shoot it. Okay, well,
that's a shame. We tried, stream. If you missed our conversation earlier, there's a new Easter egg set that's been found. I retweeted Titanium Rolo, who just loves finding Easter eggs, content creator. They've started to find them. They're skulls that make a little creepy sound, hidden around the maps now. Go get them, guys, and go get this Valkyrie camera. Brava on the thieving route. Trying to do some crime, just
some crime,
just some slight crimes, nothing too big. Stealing some Valkyrie cameras might be helpful later on. You never know. It depends on what kind of a push eventually will happen, where the rotations are starting to come through, etc. Good actual spot coming through in the player out there. It's going to be default cam hacked. A bit more crime being done. That one is definitely going to be useful when the final execute starts coming through, because you get the good opportunity to see whoever is near the elevator, who's standing close to the door near red. If you're going to be hardly executing onto the servers, you're going to be able to find yourself in a good time. Anarchic is getting spotted out. Things are happening on his body, but no one's there to actually respond to any of this information that's being gathered.
Yeah, they have, I guess, what is partially a drop on the player, but it's not really anything that could be immediately picked up upon. Just the sort of calls and positions. At this point, with a minute 30, you can sort of see Wolves are weighing up how they want to go for the pinch. There's still a full stretch of Heroic around the map as well. They haven't really been tested, and you do wonder at what point will they maybe try and fall back, or will they even? Because if you're sitting at the top floor and you haven't seen them, well, either something like that's going to happen. Bibu gets Blaz, who attempted. Maybe, yep, that was on the top of Banana. I mean, we can see the pings coming through, and oh, there's a quick response. Kayak swings the corner.
Had to go quick down. Mowgli instantly replies, though. It's a double kill for him. As Jume now realizes, hey, they seem to be inside the site. It's Kayak that will go for a cleanup again, but only 2 members left standing. The drop into the vault is on its way. Jume finds a single kill as he gets himself inside the lockers, but now will be stuck out here quickly, rebarricading everything with the keeper barriers to provide himself a bit of safety, but the hatch above him was being populated. Deadshot gets that final kill.
It was a strange round.
It was a very strange round.
It was almost like you kept on having Wolves just appear behind people.
Just been lurking to get them.
It's
I don't know what
great
happened
play.
there. Like, I think Mowgli just ran through to the site.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he dropped the hatch. No, because there was still a player upstairs at that moment. So he must have just gone through CC, walked inside, spotted an opportunity, got the kills.
I think, maybe they were sort of missing that one player, and as soon as they had the read on where Kayak was running around in this position, they said, okay, well, Mowgli, go put some pressure into the site. We know there's at least one on green. They seem to have a great awareness, and that was the thing about Wolves' approach there, is they had a great awareness on where everybody was, and you're sort of in that stunned silence of where are they going to execute from, and it was surgical. It was the sort of execute where you'd have Zero, Damn, Fisher, Zero, nodding and sort of approving of how everyone was removed from the map.
Sorry, where are we going with the 0? It's like, do you feel the countdown? It's like you just started at 0?
No, I was making a reference to the operator.
Yeah. And their lore.
I still call him Sam.
Yeah, you're close like that.
We know who the dude is.
Yeah.
We've all played the Splinter Cell.
Great games.
Great games.
Now, as Kanto's being opened up, it's just going to be providing a bit of extra, well, trouble for Heroic, really, if they want to rotate around. And it's mostly going to be getting Jume, who's basically stuck on the other side of things. So most likely will be playing there till his death up on that top area. Mowgli already finds himself very close to the actual site as he's, right on the hatch above it. And by the looks of things, there's no one actually playing in the site. So if he would be to accidentally drop and stumble down that hatch, he might be able to go for a great play again.
Again, you wonder if Heroic are fully aware of the motions being made. Mowgli here tucked, swinging across the top of White. They're suddenly in a pinch position on any player that might try and rotate up, but instead, look, they're just inside the site. Takes the first fight, sprays through to the second. They've got to drop the hatch and dip their way out. They didn't go for the route down the stairs towards the site. Swung themselves over to the top instead, but it's seemingly all surprise factors here.
They're just so unaware of where Wolves is entering from. It seems like they're playing way too internally here, not taking any fights towards the outside, and that really gives Wolves the opportunity to just be where they want to be and come in from where they feel like it's safe, because it is actually going to be safe at that point. So needs to change for the remainder of this round if Heroic wants to have an opportunity of winning it, because if you just let Wolves do whatever they need to do, they're going to be isolating you bit by bit.
They've lost, obviously, June. They've lost the Architect Operator to give them any more semblance of safety as the round gets on later and later. Mowgli isn't caught by the spray around, but he's curious about where it came from, and he sort of looks like he wishes for the fight. You can see Shinka getting themselves prepped above stock. They've got this control. E4 popped a little bit earlier, and it would have confirmed the kill, but they're going to try and utilize that to get the kill through it. Nastro almost gets caught.
Oh, they're going down the stairs suddenly. Anarchic moved himself back in. Misses the opportunity on the second though, so he gets sprayed down. And now there's only 2 members left on either side. Astro, of course, down on the ground. Might be picked up as the plant is going down in the meantime, and the flank needs to be happening at the same time. 45 seconds counting. Wolves in a post plant having the opportunity to go for verticality, and that is going to be huge.
They're in the drone outs. They know if someone tries to rotate round onto the long stretch by the window, Astro's obviously down, and it's a big risky maneuver to go for the pickup now, and you know there's 2 guns pointed and looking up. The swing round, Kayak is down as well. 2 people served up in the kitchen, the last on the rotate, and I mean, Wolves, that post-plant positioning, knowing they can't get out of that situation, you have the power play, the top of white, you can hold on to the sort of back of Shinka and keep them safe, or rotate up above the diffuser if things go wrong for Shinka inside the site. Just great play from Wolves here.
Mowgli is being a big problem though for the side of Heroic, because it's the second time he just gets in the side and finds a kill. Like, I mean, it wasn't a direct side this time, it was like over the top of it, but the awareness just seems to be lacking. They relied on the razor bloom that went off. That's why Doom actually swung Mowgli at that place, but he was ready for it. Found that kill without too much trouble. It's kind of too late, you know, when he's already in the room next to you and you don't find out until he's swinging you. Have that little time to respond or to work together with your team to try and isolate him, which is something that Wolves is doing themselves. I don't know if you saw, but it was like players on Banana already from the side of Wolves at the moment that June was taken out. So even if he would have been able to pick up that kill, the trade was most likely instantly going to be happening.
2 rounds. 2 rounds up, and if you missed the sort of context on any of this and missed every other play day, Heroic, they have no opportunity to get themselves into the decided playoffs. Wolves, even if they lose this in regulation, they're still 94% confirmed for top 3. Anything better than that, 100% they are in the deciders. They win this, full regulation win, they're pretty much confirmed top group.
That's it. That's all they'll be looking for. Gives you the bye in the playoffs for the first round. 1 less game to play to qualify ourselves. And as Wolves is getting themselves ready again to execute over the top floor, they're just making sure that the first floor is clear to some extent. You do not need to clear everything out, but you just want to make sure you're not receiving too much pressure on the top of square, because it's going to be probably one of those main entryways for you to use. Really problematic if suddenly a C4 flies up as you rappel in, or player is able to find an angle on you. Grenades coming through. Meantime, stock is also being prepared. As the smokes go off, Candelas will soon follow, and the plant of Bibu is looking to be made, but he gets taken down by Doom.
Doom on the long watch there with the glasses that can see through it, and Arctic goes down to P4. Swinging around onto Janitors. They get another as well, and suddenly, even though they repel that first swing round, the kit is in the sight to the back of it, but at this point, the fights are just going to be, well, flat fights. So Doom's ability is one of just trying to shoot the players on the back end. They've been able to wrest some control here. Top square is theirs. They still have the player on the window. They still have a man advantage, but without that kit, they got to work out how they can try and just piece together a little bit more control. And Mowgli, the man we talked about before a couple of times, his habitual method of crouching and pushing through, gets the coverage of one, gets blinded on the swing. Astro almost gets the take. Inside study on the back. They get Mowgli. P4 is going for the plant itself. They don't quite have the shot and the full true idea that it's going together. What do you do now with the player on the window, with both of you with very little health and 2 others running around up top? Shinka gets Astro. Doom, 30 seconds, 3 players.
It's going to be able to be taken down by Deadshot. He's just walking right into the crosshairs there. There's little he could do at that moment in time. The plant went down. Time was running low. And Wolves have just been playing a very good game so far. Heroic not able to find any reply necessary. And yes, they did take down the initial plant attempt by those glasses from the Warden, of course. But you need more than that. And again, they seem so timid. They're not taking the fights outwards. They're just making sure that the side is secured. And that's it. And Wolves, they just grapple themselves around it. They realize where you are. They walk in, waltz you down, and continue on to the next one. So the timeout, good thing that it's coming in now, because there's still salvageable rounds out here. I think they just need to get a bit more aggressive, a bit more unpredictable, because I don't know if you like, if they realize, but they're just playing in the site mostly, waiting for Wolves to do what they need to do.
Look at that perfect kill split on Wolves.
Yeah, 3-3-3-3.
So efficient, visually pleasing.
Very
as well.
pleasing, yes.
But it just shows the strength of the roster. I know they highlighted that when the change came round, when they sort of moved away from Rise, they wanted to rebuild with Deadshot. And at first, it was a little bit shaky, a little bit rocky. They were trying to find that teamwork, that semblance of solidity. It's warm.
It is solidity, I believe.
So it's a word. You know what I mean. They want it to be solid, like a rock that you could throw through a window. And at the minute, they've been smashing everybody's windows in. It has just been great from the roster. They are balanced. They're covering each other's sort of gaps. They're supporting each other on these motions. They're so reactive and confident to what is ahead of them. Solid like a rock.
Rock solid.
Rock solid.
All right, Heroic, what can you do after that timeout? It's a big question. Are they going to be more aggressive? It might be the case. See two players up on the top floor, opening up some angles, some long angles, that is. Mowgli already in with that Twitch drone. The Bravo drone coming in as well. It's going to be hacking out the Black Eye and soon going to be getting the default cam as well. Mowgli already entering himself into the middle floor where seemingly there's nobody about. And soon... oh, no, that's going to be a rotation to the top, so we might have three players up to the top. No, hey, hello. Kayak just walks into the offices, thinks it's going to be clear, and gets his head taken off.
I mean, it was a great read on the hold last time. Remember that there was a bit of pressure that came down from the hatches. They lost to Kayak, who swung from that exact corridor. So this time, Wolves said, well, let's get a player in this position early. Let's see just how mobile they are, because we might be able to punish on the back of it, and they have. It's a brilliant response to what, for them, went wrong last time they were here, even though they were successful. And now, Heroic have this realization of, well, we've lost this open hatch, we've lost this hold. Where do we put our attention? A trade out comes. Astro versus P4 take each other's lives. So, Steel technically works into the favor here of Wolves. And they get one more to push it. Seems like, yep, all of Heroic's remaining players have pulled back down towards the ground floor. The basement.
C4 just detonated there, and that means there's nothing left for them but the grenade and the 3 smoke canisters to stop this plant from happening. Bibu, great information coming out of that Bravo drone out there, so that's going to be watched by the Det player from P4. It's going to be giving all that information away, and soon when these drops start to come through, they're aware of 1 or 2 players, their positions, and that means Wolves already have the advantage on that gunfight out there. So all they need to do now is just time it right and make sure that everybody's in the right position. As this seems to be a very heavy take towards the server. What is Hero doing? They're going very aggressive out here. One gets taken down. The other 2 are trying to retake the top floor, but that gives an opportunity to actually take the site now.
I mean, a 1 versus 3 in the blink of an eye. Blaz having to try and fight his way back in. He would level up his KD if he can pull off this round so far. Slips his way back, shot from the hatch. They know exactly where he is. They've got the smoke cover. The kit's going down with the coverage over the top. In fact, no, it isn't. They've just tucked. And they trust Mowgli will get the picked up piece on the back end of it. Wolves just keep their tear on, and it is just sit back, put your hands behind your head, and watch Siege. Fantastic play.
What was that call, though? Like, you see everybody super spread out around the side, and then they're like, let's rush server. Let's just go for it. On the defense. Everybody just ran through it. I'm not quite sure what the plan was there. Because as soon as you do that and you meet a little bit of resistance, the hatches are all behind you. There's no way back into the site for you. But we continue. 4-0 for Wolves. They are continuing to play exceptional Siege. As you said, the viewers at home, especially their fans, this is a relaxing game so far. You just watching them do incredible things, being at the right place at the right time, reading into every single setup Heroic have made so far. But the way it's going so far, this could be a 7-0.
It would be a pretty rough way for things to end, but you also, in the conversation, maybe said a little bit tongue-in-cheek from our Swede on the desk. He spoke a bit of Swedish, I didn't understand it. Where he said, they were up against a very tough opponent. They were. BDS were playing great Siege. They were very aggressive here. Wolves are also playing great Siege. It's great teamwork-driven Siege. They've almost tested themselves, as said, where they're taking teams to maps where they've maybe lost, or they're going against teams on their best maps and they're winning them out. It's a statement season Wolves are making of saying we've widened our map pool, we've strengthened it, we are coming for a title.
As long as they don't have to face BDS, everything will be all right for them.
Oh, well, now you've said it. Are you stealing that camera there? Oh, that is... And they... Oh,
He's
Bibu!
just giggling about this. He's just like, they have no clue.
And this, it's...
Just chilling.
It's unfortunate. Obviously, we see all of this. We don't have the blinkers of pressure. But... it's rough to watch a little thing like that in motion, I suppose.
It is. Because these are all great players on the side of Heroic as well. All of them have
fantastic
incredible qualities, and it's just not worked out for them this stage. And it's a shame that the stage is that short at that moment in time, because there's almost no time for redemption. There's no time to make up for what went wrong. And that means that Wolves, they're kind of having the opportunity to play with their food, as it seems, during the previous round. There's a new round, new setup that they need to deal with, and they soon will be on the way again. I believe that they have hacked it, I believe.
It's either hacked or
Destroyed, but I believe...
I heard a gate get destroyed. But...
Oh no, Kayak is standing under it, that's why it's not activated.
Okay, yeah, so that's the play, by the way, if you're unaware, is Kayak stood up on there. You don't have to be a clash, but they are. So as soon as they hear something being placed on it, they'll just step off and destroy whatever was being placed. So P4 says, I'm just going to take a fight. We'll say we're going to go to the other side of the map and go for the drop onto a different take. Just misses the first engagement. The smoke pushes them into the fight, and they still win it out. The second looks away at the worst possible time, but Bibu still wins it, and they're just winning all of them. Kayak as the clash, stuck on the back end of fire. Astro does some bits, though, to bite Heroic. Back into the round, back into the chance, but he is so isolated here on gold. He's got to try and find one of these swings first. It happens away from him. Now it's just a clash. Now it's nobody. You sit back, you put your hands behind your head, and you watch some exceptional Siege.
It is exceptional what we're seeing from Wolves. Again, okay, there's a clash. We cannot open that. Let's just drop elevator. And they just go. And they just kill everybody in their way. No exceptions. And this, okay, what I'm going to say isn't personal, but Kayak sitting there under that hatch basically made him useless. Because he's just sitting there, his entire team gets slaughtered, and you're there with a shield in a 1v4. It's like, what are you going to do at that point? And that's just Wolves, they realize, oh, well, there's a shield underneath that hatch, which has a serial laser gate on it, which means we won't be able to open it. So what do? We put one person to keep that person occupied to make sure that shield doesn't return to the side, and everybody else, we just execute. We kill everybody on the side, and we win the round.
Sprabuni stats. Do. It's the new Sprabuni jingle.
Oh, very good. Have you recorded it so you can use it later on in your soundboard?
Should have. We'll have
Still have time. Do it again. It's not up yet. You can,
yeah, it's not up. I've already forgotten what.
You can make a new jingle. It's fine.
Sprabuni. Where are your stats? Sprabuni, if you don't know, is one of the biggest brains and boffins of statisticians for Siege. We get them recruited whenever we can to give us really cool things. I was told by production there were stats coming out, but apparently I've just been pranked.
Yeah.
They literally told me we're going to put this up, and they have been displayed.
We haven't seen them.
Oh, we don't see them.
Well,
Okay.
I don't see it on my program either. I'm not on
we
that
see-
program.
But we see. I am on. Okay, that's an argument
We're
with
different
production.
programs.
Okay, my bad. We see everything apart from Sprabuni stats. We're just not
That's a
that.
shame. We can't talk about it. So I hope you have fun, chat, talking about the Sprabuni stat.
Yeah, I didn't even need to sing it twice. You were spoiled. Okay. We see. And I know. The point I was going to make before all of that was I'm describing it as exceptional siege from Wolves. And, you know, it's not that they're playing out of their skins, but they're playing so steady. Everything is really well measured. It's good responses to what's ahead of them. And most important, it's really confident. They're pushing in. They're pushing forward. And just sort of brushing the challenges aside. There's a lot of bravado in their play, and that's why it's so fun to watch. That's why it's so satisfying, because you can see them working out the puzzle and the problem and solving it without the problem even realizing it at some points.
I'll have to have like a heart rate scanner on them right now as Astro finds Deadshot through the wall, I believe that was. But P4 still coming through, has an opportunity to just strike. There's two stuck up on the door. That's one kill, and they're already finding themselves right behind the kitchen. The second one is not going to go their way. Joom strikes back. A round advantage now for the side of Heroic, as it's only up to Bibu now. This could actually be the little bit of a buffer that Heroic can put on the board to give themselves a bit of a fighting chance for the second half.
They close on the right-hand side. There's a spray through from the other shoulder from Doom just to give them an idea, but Astro should be able to just pop around and get it, and they do. Heroic! They find a round. They find it in the final dying moment, the final possibility, and you know, did it come down to that engagement where Doom won out? I can't remember what player it was. I think it might have been P4 that was sort of crouched behind
P4.
the kitchenette. If that had gone into P4's way, once again, you look at them having sight and a plant position there. Doom, with the work that was done, a little bit, I think a 2K came through from Astra on the back, gets Heroic around. Now they have the pressure of attack.
Yeah. But this is also where the danger comes in, because Heroic has absolutely nothing to lose. So, how are you going to play against it? For all we know, they might just be trying to rush the side every single round. We don't know. And if Wolves are setting themselves up with only one or two players on the side, it might be successful at that as well. Because sometimes we're in these rounds and we see opportunities like, oh, there's only a single person on the side. If they would rush it, they'd have a very good opportunity of planting. And teams don't do it because there's so much on the line, and they also know they could backfire immensely. But if you're a team that has nothing to lose, you might try that. Might give it a go.
Wolves start their way down here on the basement. As the game was started against them, they've attacked it perfectly 3 times. And it looks like they're about to have a quick brace. Oh no, 2 of them head up to the top. I mean, there might still be a quick bit of pressure here. Blaz and Doom could maybe try and eke their way round towards Green. Push their way down to support Astro inside Garage. There's a little bit of a swing play around open. I mean, here it is. Yeah, that's exactly what I called. The breakdown onto Green. They've got some control of Garage. Deadshot is none the wiser, but is about to be in a very powerful position. Blaz goes down first, and well, generally Wolves have come out a little bit better for those engagements. Kayak rotating around second. There's another one lost from Heroic side. They, as you said, nothing else to play for, threw themselves in, and Wolves picked them up and threw them right back out.
That was a rush attempt I was talking about indeed, and didn't really go well so far. Completely blind, taking that final gunfight. That shot will shut him down, and that means Wolves now are on match point. Not just 1, not just 2, but a whole 5 to go with it. So plenty of opportunity for them to lock it off. Heroic, well, you're knocked out, but this is going to be your final opportunity to show what you got. Of course, it was announced that the organization was going to be leaving Siege afterwards.
It was.
Which is a very sad day, but it also means that this might just be their last opportunity to show what they got in the official leagues.
Now, we saw at the very end of that FNOT, the Fenrir Mine, get activated. It wasn't actually activated on the first swing round. And that's the sort of beauty there of Fenrir, is you've got that pre-play, so just deactivate one of your other ones, swap around onto that, and suddenly you have an extra bit of support that if somebody has slipped through, as we saw a player get through, anyone else that tries to move behind them is certainly going to get caught out. It creates new problems without you even having to be anywhere close. You can activate those from anywhere.
As long as you have, like, I mean, not a line of sight as in you need to see it. You just need to be able to, you know, hover over it with your mouse in a general direction and be able to activate it. But yeah, so quick adaptation from those AFNATs, and that's where taking back a code and putting it into a different device really helps out. And which is why it's so important to make sure your codes aren't wasted on an AFNAT that gets destroyed, because you cannot redeploy that one.
6-1. As you said, Wolves have plenty of opportunities to push this over the edge, but you wouldn't be surprised to know that it's probably going to happen sooner rather than later. Even with the round that was taken, it could have been a 7-0. Just as likely for my money on the back of one engagement. Astro pushed back away from his approach onto square. Kayak is looking for the follow-up fight, but Heroic is just missing their connections. He's been able to pull himself around. Mowgli's rotated off to the back end. He has the sort of calls of P4, ensuring that he's safe to do these maneuvers. Blaz finding an option. But do you find Mowgli?
Looking to go through, but decided against it in the end. And they have found themselves the entry kill, something to work with here. Still 2 minutes left on the clock to play with. It's the first smoke, the second smoke get deployed. It's Bieber to be taken down as well. Astro to follow up onto P4, and instantly Heroic have a pretty decent round on their hands. There's only a single player left. This could be a flawless. Really demonstrating what they can do. Everything is going the right way. Now Shinka is going to be walking right into the crossfires of the last man. Joom takes him down, and a flawless round for Heroic. I believe these are the Sprabooty stats as well we were waiting for. It suddenly popped up on my screen. Not sure if it did for you.
I was writing in my notebook.
Oh, so you might not have seen it. It said that if Wolves have an OT loss, which they already have, or better, they are 100% confirmed for top 3, which we knew, just that 1 point. If they take a regulation win, they will be 81% confirmed for first seed, which, to let you all know, is
there we go. I see the
yes,
stats.
we do see the stats now. So the first place is actually quite important because you get the bye in the playoffs for that first round, which means you have to play one less series to get yourselves to the major.
I started that round by saying it could have been a flawless game. It could have. There's your stats, everybody. There's your Sprabooty graphic. You Sprabooty fans out there with your Sprabooty merchandise. I don't know. Where they have confirmed themselves into the playoffs. But they could still get themselves that regulation win. It's very likely. And although I sort of said that round, yeah, they could have flawless the game. And we've just seen the best round Heroic have played all day. And it was very clean. It was almost an entirely different team from what we've seen for the rest of it. You still have a bit of favor for Wolves here. I think you still have a bit of expectation that they'll be pushing this over the edge.
There's no two ways about it, right? Like, there's no way you can be in this game right now and not favor Wolves to be the ones taking this game.
Even with Cast to Curse.
Even with the Caster Curse. We might have just done it.
Might have.
My
bad.
Way,
My bad,
Heroic. Like, again, nothing left to play for, but their final game, well, could be their final round as well in the European League. And as the openings are being made, the Keeper Bears are going to be destroyed, and that will allow Shinka, or needs to have Shinka, rebuilding, so they can still have an active measure to try and challenge. But I believe there was going to be Thorn Gadgets on the opposite side of things. Oh, that was the last round out there. Before comes around, finds one, a second kill for him as well, and Heroic faltering, falling apart.
So they had that watched. We obviously saw the Valkyrie cam. I thought they went for the drop and the take on it, but the Valk just moved in behind that information, saved their camera. There's another. P4 has been tearing them up this game. Kayak caught out, just spraying some hope, but we have a flawless in response. We have a Wolves undefeated as of this point, and we have Heroic's last game falling to a little bit of a disappointment there.
Now, there's always going to be the opportunity to go through the open qualifiers, but that is just going to be such a big ask with the amount of games you'll have to play. Definitely a lot of work that needs to be done for Heroic if they want to be making it through there and get themselves into the close. Now, that's it. That's it for Heroic. Wolves, they find themselves confirmed top 3. They will be playing in playoffs. All that's left for them is that first seed they're hunting down now.
Well, let's throw it to the desk and see what they've got to say.
I would say my favorite competitive moments in R6 have all been related to or around LAN events. The first LAN that I went to as a player is probably my favorite. I think it was the 2019 Winter UK Prem LAN. For me, I was brand new to competitive, and being able to make a LAN in our first season was a great experience for me. Whether it's been me going to LAN events as a spectator or as a player, they've definitely always been the highlight of the season or year for me.
Well, it would have to be winning the Berlin Major a year ago, because that was after like a long period of not winning like tournament and stuff. So I was kind of teetering on it, thinking like, oh, am I still good enough and all that kind of stuff. And then we won that match against FaZe also, is because it was just such a nail biter, I guess. Then obviously the fans, it was just crazy. Like I think we all said after that it felt like the crowd was like a sixth player to us. That's definitely my favorite moment.
My favorite memory is definitely the last Invitational we played. I think the turning point was the match against FaZe. We were losing pretty hard, and if we lost that, we'll basically be out of the tournament. But we had a good timeout from our coach, Fabian, telling us we're playing like really bad, and it not only made me mad at myself, but it made me mad at him, because like how like he's saying this stuff, like everything just fired me up, and I just wanted to go out there and destroy the enemy team after that.
My best memory in Siege has to be the victory we got in the Young Company Major. The feeling to finally win something, like something big, right, was amazing. Especially like doing it with the teammate I was playing with for 3 years. Like it means a lot for us and for me, obviously. And I'm really happy to have done something that not a lot of people did in this game.
For me, my favorite moment is qualifying for Copenhagen Major when we was playing Wild at the UAL playoffs, and it was game for a slot on Copenhagen. But I remember that we were getting on the Chalet, and basically Chalet is not our greatest map, but we tried so hard, and the game was absolutely emotional. Everybody was so emotional, everybody was so screaming. That should be my favorite moment from the recent ones.
So I think one of my favorite moments in Siege actually was when I was still in tier 3, basically an on, and I randomly got a message one day from Fabian, one of the greatest players of all time, a legend, and he asked me if I would be interested in a project that he would make, and I ended up joining that project. I mean, I own him a lot. He basically taught me how to play Siege correctly, so that's the reason I'm here. So just thank you for giving me a chance.
Wolves are our first team to 100% confirm themselves top 3 to make it into the playoffs. And we have the winners on the line, so we get to ask them a few questions about that victory. Hello, Helby. We're joined by you. You must be feeling amazing now.
Well, it's a pretty good week. 6 point out of 6. I think we're pretty much seed 1 for now. Still have 1 game to go, but yeah, overall, very happy.
Indeed.
Very convincing win too today, so.
Definitely, that's one thing. You needed 1 point. We did it in a very convincing way. That now means that you are in top 3 and you'll be confirmed first if there's an overtime between M&M and BDS. So that's what you need basically to make sure you are first. That must be an amazing feeling.
Well, if we compare to our performance in the closed league in the first stage, it is a nice change of pace, one that we feel we deserve, and we work for it. So all good.
It is indeed 100% deserved. But if you look at that last stage and compare it to now, what do you feel, in your opinion, is that one thing that changed in the team?
I think we had a little bit more time to work out all the kinks with Jimmy, with Deadshot. When he joined, I think we still tried to keep a little bit of the style we played previously at the Six Invitational, which wasn't really like the identity that worked with Deadshot. So, incorporating that adjustment and having the time to do so in the long run, going through like all the way to the bottom league and back to the LCQ, I think was good for us. It gave us time to adjust, test in a game setting. And, so since then, it's been pretty good.
So with that, you feel the sky is the limit now? You've had more time. The summer break's actually been good for you in that way as well, right?
Yeah, well, we did play the Combine, which was a good tournament to keep us busy, keep us working, and having a goal to work towards. It's not always easy to work many months without any clear or real goal. So having that tournament really helped us, stay focused, stay motivated, and I think it's showing right now during the stage 2.
And then tomorrow you'll play BDS. We'll see later today, obviously, if it still matters in regards to that first spot. How are you feeling about that? Because it's always an interesting matchup between you two.
Yeah, it's always been a dark beast for us, a team that we only beat convincingly, I think, in French League finals. And aside from that, I think they have an overwhelming advantage on us. I think the difference right now is we have a team that works a little bit more, and it's been a long time since we played them, so it's going to be an interesting match for sure. I think having secured the top 3 spot already is going to be a confidence booster, so it should be a good game.
100%, but it sounds good for tomorrow as well. Anything you want to say to the fans?
Well, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting us. We can't really do it without all of it. So hopefully we can see the fans too in Atlanta. We're going to work for it. Having the first spot is going to give us at least 3 chances to get it. So that's the goal. And also secure an invitational after that. So yeah. Oh, and also buy the skin. Thank you.
All right, very good prospect. I'm sure the arena will be filled with lots of howling as well if you do eventually make it to Atlanta. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening, and we hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
It's a good prospect. I mean, making it to Atlanta, they feel like it's an upward climb so far.
I mean, they're going to make it to Atlanta if they keep playing like they are now. Looking at this game, sure, Heroic is coming in with this roster change and making it a mess, but if we look at what Wolves are doing, they're making it so clean. They're working step by step, and they're working with different takes. They're making something different every single time. They're catching Heroic off guard. They're finding gaps. They're abusing the gaps. They're completely ignoring some of the setups that Heroic are playing in their defenses and just doing whatever Wolves really wanted to do. And it looks so easy when they're doing it.
When you take a step back and you look at the last 3 games they've played, they've controlled every single one of them.
Yeah.
Controlled against M&M, controlled against G2, controlled against Heroic. Now, this is a team in the group of death, that many people called it when the groups came out, that this group was absolutely stacked, and Wolves are running away with it. At the minute, they're clearly the best team in Europe. They're clearly full of confidence. Every process they have, there's a logic to it. There's a sense to it. You can understand what they're trying to do it, and they're executing it absolutely perfectly. I don't really think I can find any slight negative in this team at all at the minute.
Not one. What is there to really mention? They're topping the group of death against world champion, the 2 teams we said were probably the 2 best team in the groups in M&M and BDS when we came into this group. Now they only have to go up against BDS one more time and show that they actually are that beast that we're.
That's kind of the real test, right? Because that's the one hurdle they've not gotten over yet. Is the
yes, and we finally got there. I'm so excited for that game because it's not even about the placements. I don't care about that too much. Whatever team goes through. I obviously want G2 to always win, but it's just that game. It's going to be such a interesting matchup from just the perspective of can they finally get over the mental block that they have versus BDS. I think that they will. I mean, just looking at them, they're playing fantastic Siege. It's the whole package, perfection. This is what I want Siege to be, and this is how I want Siege to be played every time.
Indeed, yeah, confidence must be at an all-time high, and I hope it will help with them tomorrow, obviously, for the mental block. But that'll be something for tomorrow, obviously, for us to see. We're already halfway through our day so far, so that means we'll have to go into our third matchup very, very soon. When we come back after break, we'll have Virtus.pro versus Wild.
Flawless in response. We have a Wolves undefeated at the